morning, guys. It's KLBELVIN. Getting ready to head into the school, get this day started. But I wanted to shout out a couple people this morning because one of the things that I've been using Scope to do is connect with people who are like-minded, who are trying to make changes in the lives of others. And one of those brothers, Otis Bellinger, Greatness in You. I'm working with him. I'm coming to Detroit in June, and you need to follow this brother simply because of what he's trying to do with young men in Detroit. Sister Regina Poole, one of the fellow speakers who will be there June 4th at Wayne State University, and we're both invited by Otis Bellinger, and we're coming to offer our expertise to try to work on restoring and saving relationships. And then my brother I met last night, Glenn P. Brooks Jr., follow him also. The brother is really trying to make a difference in the lives of others. And it's funny how so many of us have similar paths. Good morning. Have similar paths. And we really need to look for folks who have mindsets like we have, but may have different understandings of different parts of the world, different parts of business, different parts of the faith. And we need to come together with the idea that we can make changes. And we make changes in other people's lives by the information that we take in and then how we dispense that information. So you're never too smart to learn, and you're never too smart to sit and listen to others who may be doing something that you're not, that when added to what you're doing make you greater. And as an educator, that's all I try to do with the children that come. Hey, what's going on, brother? That, as an educator, that's all I try to do when children come into my classroom, is to add to what other teachers have given them, but to offer knowledge that when they leave me, it's going to help them when they get to the next person who's going to help build into them, help them grow. So Otis Bellinger, Regina Poole, and my brother Glenn, who I spoke to last night, who's here on the Scope, we got to connect with each other. We have to be able to stand with each other and understand that when strong people interlock, you become stronger. And as they say, you're only as weak as your weakest link. Well, if there is no weak link, well then what's the opposite? The chain is strong. And so for what we're trying to do, you need to follow all these individuals and then connect them to people that are doing what they're doing, similar, maybe different, whatever, but is connected with the same mindset. There you go. Thanks. There you go. Put it up there. I got you. And if you're on this Scope, and replay viewers, if you're watching, appreciate you. Please follow these individuals, but also support. Don't just sit and absorb the information and do nothing with it. That makes no sense. Listen to what they're saying. Pass that information on to people that you believe will be able to do something with what they're doing, would be able to connect to what they're doing. Listen to what they're trying to do. You have Regina Poole, who gives an outstanding information in terms of relationships from a woman's point of view. And she is very, very smooth in how she explains that, what her position is. She's not rude, not loud, but she's making sense. And we need to start coming together to do exactly that, make sense. So folks who are lost, folks who need help, will come to the table and go, I need to work with them. It's my song here. Sex, that just got you blocked, because that's not even what the Scope is about. But yeah, the idea is, what you really need to do is just focus. And then if there's somebody missing, if you go, oh, they would be great with, reach out to us. We all give our contact information in our Scopes. Reach out to us and say, hey, you need to speak to brother so-and-so. You need to speak to sister so-and-so because they're doing this here in my area. And then we can start to link together virtually or physically. There's no reason now with live streaming that we can't get together and do things virtually, as well as get together to do things physically, so feet are on the ground in a particular area. Because we can't keep sitting and waiting for these entertainers on high to show up, these politicians on high to show up. There you go. Thank you. No, got you, brother. Appreciate it. Definitely. And today is definitely a day to hit Glenn P. I missed it. You might want to post it so I can read it again so people can hear it if they're not actually reading the comments. But definitely, listen, I got to get ready to head up into this building. I got about 10 more minutes for class start. But listen, guys, I'm not saying follow me, pay attention to me. I'm saying listen to what I'm saying and pass that on. Listen to what I'm saying and give that to somebody else. Then have them connect with me. Have them connect with anybody on this scope. And then let's keep extending that. Let's keep building the foundation. If the people that are connecting are about change and enough people get together, then changes are made. But we cannot do that by being quiet. We cannot do that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for joining. Share it out with everyone. If you're watching on replay, you can still share this on Twitter. We have to have meetings of the minds because actions come from those meetings and they have to come. We cannot keep sitting and waiting on politicians. And if you've been paying attention to this political race, I don't know if these politicians actually have grassroots folks' interests in mind. And when I say grassroots folks, I'm talking about what's under the grass, that mud looking. So I'm just saying, I don't know if they got our interests in mind. And I'm not sitting and waiting to see who's going to take the chair and then see if they're going to be about us. I say we take care of us because that's what God intended us to do. That's what God says do. So I'm going to do what God says, and I'm going to go out and look for other godly folks, and we're going to go out and save the people who look like us, who don't look like us, or whoever needs help. But I'm not going to sit and wait for somebody else to do it. But what I am going to do is ask for help, because there's nothing wrong with asking for help. A strong man asks for help. A weak man stays quiet and suffers in silence. That makes no sense to me. So what I'm going to do when I know there's young men out here, when I know there's women out here, when I know there's couples out here, when I know there's folks out here that got incredible stories that need to write them, I'm going to publish them. Do you have a parking space? Don't be late for Actually, dog, look, I'm parked. I found a parking space. That's my wife. In the middle of a scope, she's making sure I'm not late to work. No, dog, I got a parking space. Actually, I'm right outside the school. I got lucky. So, yeah, in New York, you got to fight for a parking space. But no, I'm seriously, guys. And here's my question. I'm going to leave you with this before I go today. Make sure you find somebody to help today. Before you lay your head back on your pillow at the end of this day, look yourself in the mirror and ask, who did I help today? Who did I help today? Who did I reach out to and look to help today? Yeah, she's a great wife. Fantastic. I wouldn't be the man I am without her and God. I say it all the time. God blessed me with a helpmate, with somebody who understands me, because that's what I asked for. And actually, I'll talk about that in the scope. She asked for somebody to love her. I asked for somebody to understand me. And she does completely. So God sent me exactly what I needed. Not what I wanted. But he sent me what I needed. And so I love her to death that she understands my craziness. But seriously, before the end of the day, guys, before you come back home and step into your house, while you are out of your house today, have a wonderful day. But be able to say to yourself, who did I help today? Not just yourself. We have to help ourselves and do for ourselves. I got that. Who did you help today? Who did you literally, I don't care if it's a small thing, big thing, who did you help today? Whose life did you make a little bit better with something, a smile, a gesture? Did you say to somebody, I like the way you changed your hair? Did you hold the door for somebody? Did you sit down and say, you've been looking kind of down today? Who did you help today? And the reason why that's so important is that is what opens the door for them to come back when you say, you should follow this person. You should talk to this person. You should purchase this person's books. You should go to that person's seminar. You should support what these folks are doing in Michigan. Random acts of kindness. Have to do it. Listen, guys, got to get in here. Got to try to educate these kids today. Pray for me. Pray for me. I'm working with the elementary kids. Lord knows it can be difficult, but it's a difficult type of love, and I love it. And actually, I'm getting hated on by some of my fellow educators because of the amount of hugs that I get, but I love it. Yes, Dr. Harper, you were 100% correct. I was going to love working with elementary kids. I'm loving it. I wish I had worked with the little ones a little more often. I might even consider it when I move to Delaware. I'm not sure. But let me get in here and do what I do, see if I can make a difference for today. So when I come home, I can actually say the same thing myself. Who did I help today? Well, I'm going to help a whole group of kids today. So this is what I do daily, and I ask you to do the same thing. I am KLBELVIN. Please follow the people that have been listed in this scope. Listen to them. Don't just listen. Listen to what they're doing and then pass that information on. Share that information. Thank you so much for the hearts. Give that information to others and ask others to do the same. Because again, if like-minded folks, if God-minded folks, God-minded business folks get together, then God is going to be in the midst and it will not fail. But we have to look for each other because God said, my sheep know my voice. Well, we have to then find each other, because the shepherd, Jesus, will lead us to where we got to go. Now, if folks don't understand what I just said, you might have to come see me another day. But my folks who know what I'm talking about understand what I just said. I wish you all well. Have a wonderful day. God bless.